Aquarian Pools and Spas. If you can dream it, they can build it. More than 50 years in business. Start your dream pool today. Aquarian Pools and Spas. 803-732-3636.
Did you like the great games, or are you more upset that we don't get what is the true Cinderellas marching out?
I was enjoying the games.
Okay.
I wasn't looking at the seeding. I was enjoying good basketball. Now, yeah, you had the story of like Iowa beating the 1 seed in Florida, which I did predict a 1 seed was going to go down this weekend. That ended up coming true. But like, I didn't feel myself coming away from the weekend saying, dang, I really wish, High Pointed, won instead of Arkansas. Like, I just think we got treated to a lot of really good games, a lot of ones that came down to the wire, last second shots and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, that's what it's really about, is good basketball, which we saw. And I think we're setting up for a really compelling Sweet 16 and Elite 8 this weekend.
According to the March Madness men's TV Twitter account, it was the most watched NCAA tournament ever, averaging 10.1 million viewers through the second round across all the platforms, TBS, CBS, TNT, and True TV. That was up 7%. It had a record-setting audience with the most watched first round ever, 9.5 million viewers, up 9%, and the most watched second round since 1993 of 11 million viewers. And then what was great, the Sunday early primetime window, St. John's, Kansas, Iowa, Florida, Tennessee, Virginia. That was the most watched window in NCAA tournament history in the first week, and up 29%, up 29%. And yeah, St. John's, Kansas was incredible. Iowa, Florida was incredible. Tennessee, Virginia came down to the wire. I do think this is what you're going to get with the NCAA tournament moving forward, is Cinderellas are going to become far fewer between, but you're going to get great teams between the high majors who are kind of just picking and plucking who they want. There are a few players who are loyal to Paul Mainieri and enjoyed him.
Sure.
I have a hard time believing that whatever it is, 35, 36, 37 players, whatever that number is now.
It's 34.
34.
Yeah.
That 34 dudes are like just, I could be wrong on that.
That seemed a lot happier on Saturday.
Yeah, well, they were competitive on Saturday. But with that being said, Tyler, what this screams is Paul Mainieri was so tone deaf. This is to me. This is Bill Gunner's words. That Paul Mainieri was so tone deaf and dense to the situation that when he realized everybody wanted him gone, everybody, that he then turned on everybody. And instead of just staying quiet and going, nobody would say a word. You're right. Everybody, it's 80 games, and it's been fixed. Jeremiah Donati fixed it. And, now you don't scream at the iceberg for sinking the Titanic.
Yeah.
You figure out how to survive, and you figure out how to get home and back to your happy place. And that means going and finding the coach, whomever it may be, that can guide this program back to being competitive. And that's actually the right word, competitive. When you got ruled in 2 of the first 4 conference games under Paul Mainieri and essentially blown out in a third, and then you had the great Friday night game down in Gainesville with Josh Gunther, and I forget their pitcher's name, basically going toe-to-toe with a no-hitter for 9 innings. But, Tyler, I come to this. You just start on the comments, and if you just go to the big one of essentially blaming the media, of blaming the fans and the higher-ups over Jeremiah Donati, of being impatient, the first thing that comes to mind is, Paul, you set the standard with yourself in your opening press conference.
Yeah, he quite literally did. He said, hey, this isn't, and he reflected on the history of the program and the World Series trips and all that kind of stuff. And, he said, hey, I don't got a lot of time. Again, he was looking at it and kind of like because his deal was 5 years, right? And he's like, I'm not making this a 5-year turnaround. We're going to go out and be competitive right away. And again, if he would have, gone out there and give you the exact same results that Kingston did in his last year, made the tournament, got bounced in regional, say, okay, kind of treaded water, but, build from there. But then when you go out there and have a historically awful season from this team's history in the SEC and follow that up with what was trending to be maybe even worse than that, because you were losing games, teams you had no business losing to, then there was no upside there. So, no, it's not the impatience. It's the fact that you didn't show anything. And this is another conversation we had on Monday, and you can weigh in on your thoughts on this as well. There was never a time where I think anybody felt good during the Mainieri era. And I'm not talking about when he got hired in the lead up to the first season. When they started playing last year on Valentine's weekend against Sacred Heart, up until when he gets dismissed on Saturday. There was never a period of time, save for a couple of those mid-major series to start last season that you were winning, where you're like, okay, yeah, this is going well and this is trending in the right direction. It really started with the Clemson series last year, and it's been off the rails ever since.